Good evening, and welcome to Montclair State University's 2017 Winter Commencement Ceremony. Please silence all electronic devices. The processional will now begin. Now entering the arena are the Gonfaloniers, carrying the college and school flags. The faculty members bearing the gonfalons were selected for this honor by their school or college's dean to acknowledge their scholarship and contributions to the university. Representing the graduate school is Professor Stephanie Brockfelt, Director of the Doctoral Program in Environmental Management. Professor Anish Parikh is representing the Feliciano School of Business. Professor Duke Ofori is carrying the gonfalon for the College of Science and Mathematics. Professor Jennifer Robinson is carrying the gonfalon for the College of Education and Human Services. Professor Eric Diamond is carrying the gonfalon for the College of the Arts. The College of Humanities and Social Sciences is being represented by Professor Raul Galope. Ladies and gentlemen, may I direct your attention to the back of the arena, where the president, trustees, university officers, and honored guests are now entering. The processional is led by the Grand Marshal, Professor Dominica Desiderio Scioli, who has served the university for 51 years. She carries the university mace, an ornamental staff symbolizing the president's authority. The silver mace was designed by Cartier and crafted in Athens, Greece. The mace is decorated with an 18-karat gold pine design and topped with medallions depicting the seal of the state of New Jersey, the university seal, College Hall, and other designs. The mace was a gift to the university by the Sandoz Foundation in 1973. Now entering the arena is our distinguished faculty and staff. Ladies and gentlemen, led by the university's mascot, Rocky the Red Hawk, we present the class of 2017. A number of our candidates for baccalaureate degrees are wearing gold tassels, signifying that they are graduating with academic honors. Please welcome the president of Montclair State University, Dr. Susan A. Cole.
Good evening, everyone. Graduates. I extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guests, our graduates, their families and friends, and the university's faculty and staff. Please rise, everyone, for the national anthem, which is being sung by Elizabeth Wooten, who will be receiving after graduation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
To build a peaceful, prosperous, and just society. The work that you have done has been in part to enable you to become the person you want to become in this world, but only in part. It has also been to enable you to become the kind of citizen that our nation and the world needs. All told, in its first 109 years, Montclair State has granted 146,162 degrees, and you are now among that number. And tonight, we will send all of you out into that winter night with great confidence that your efforts will assure that in the years to come, the sun will rise on a better world. As you pursue further study and your careers in science, the health professions, law, business, the arts, government, and education, we will all look forward to your achievements. The role of public universities such as Montclair State is critical to sustaining a free and democratic society. For to be a responsible and contributing citizen in a democracy takes preparation and it takes education. You have had the privilege of that education, and many people have worked hard to make that privilege possible for you, including your faculty and advisors at the university, your family and friends who are here tonight to express their pride in you, and many people who you will never know, such as generous alumni and donors who shared what they had to support scholarships for you and to make educational resources available to the university for you, and your fellow citizens whose taxes helped support your education. And now it's up to you, and you must let nothing stand between you and your future. Reach far, have courage, and never give up on yourself. And now, before we proceed with this ceremony, I would like us to take a moment to remember together your fellow students whose lives were cut short this year and who will never have the chance to stand where you stand today. Please remember with me Alejandra Escobar, Justin Lamora, Brianna Pisanik, Betsy Stagg, and among them also Catherine Garrison, who would have tonight stood with you to receive her bachelor's degree in German. Tonight, before her parents who are here, let us make the first degree we award posthumously for Catherine Garrison. I would ask each of you to do just one extra portion of good in your lives in the memory of these lost classmates. And now, it is time to celebrate. And to help us do that, we have a number of special guests who have joined us on the platform. Please first join me in welcoming our distinguished honorary degree recipient, Frankie Faison. And join us. Also joining us is Robert Jackson, Mayor of the Township of Montclair. I would ask the members of our Board of Trustees to rise and remain standing as I call their names. Rose Calley, Lawrence Insera, Preston Pinkett, John McGoldrick, Kent Slider, and Sandra Adams, Professor Sandra Adams, our faculty representative. Please be seated. The university's senior officers, Provost Vice President for University Facilities, Sean Connolly, Vice President for Human Resources, Jerry Cutler, Vice President for Information Technology, Candace Fleming. Vice President for Student Development and Campus Life, Karen Pennington, is out with the flu but sends her love. And Vice President for University Advancement, Jack Shannon, and University Counsel, Mark Fleming. And your student government representatives, President Matt Lerman, Vice President George Koutsaradis, Treasurer Brendan O'Shea. Where are you? Stand up. And Secretary Gianna Zaino. I now invite the University Board of Trustees, a member of the University Board of Trustees, to join us, John McGoldrick, if you will, to bring greetings and to present our honorary degree recipient.
Welcome to you all. For 109 years, Montclair State University has played a significant role in creating accomplished and distinguished professionals in a wide range of fields. As graduates, you now have a great legacy of being part of the MSU family, and we know you are going to have meaningful and successful careers. You have made us all very proud. We are extremely honored to have an extraordinary individual with us today, someone who is a Tony-nominated actor with a stage and screen career spanning more than 40 years, and who is also a respected member of the greater Montclair community. May I ask you to all direct your attention to the video screens.
Save it. What is this? McDowell's?
It's a place over on Queens Boulevard. I think he works there.
My son works.
You want the book? Maybe I can get it back.
I want the x-ray they shot after you broke Lecter's arm during the attack on that nurse.
I put out a chair for you.
Oh, yes, that's very good, thank you.
I'll be watching. You'll do fine. If you turn around before you hear the lock snap, you'll get a dive. Understood?
Yes, indeed.
Got 10 minutes. Talk to your lawyer. But the state of Mississippi won't even allow these white boys to be buried in the same cemetery as this Negro boy.
This isn't about Daniels. You came in with bad stats, and for the mayor, that was the last straw.
My numbers were clean. They'd gone through staff review. You tell Carcetti.
Urban, it doesn't matter now.
What a career. I would now ask Provost Gingrich and Grand Marshal to present, please escort Frankie Faison to the lectern.
Frankie R. Faison As an internationally recognized actor with more than 100 film, television, and stage appearances to your credit, you have distinguished yourself over a career spanning 4 decades. You earned a bachelor's degree and an honorary doctoral degree from Illinois Wesleyan University, a Master of Fine Arts degree from New York University, and pursued a successful career as an actor on both stage and screen. You have achieved critical acclaim for your performances in movies including Silence of the Lambs, Mississippi Burning, Hannibal, and Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, and in television including the prominent HBO series The Wire. On Broadway, you have appeared in productions including Getting Away with Murder, Of Mice and Men, The Iceman Cometh, and The Shadow Box, and your performance as Gabriel in Fences earned you nominations for the Tony and Drama Desk Awards. As a longtime resident of Montclair, you have been an active member of the community, contributing your support to the Montclair Public Library children's literacy efforts and other charitable endeavors. Your daughters, Blake and Amanda, are Montclair State University alumnae. Blake graduated summa cum laude with a bachelor's degree in Spanish in 2002, and Amanda earned a master's degree in teaching in 2014. Yes, one of you. In recognition of your achievements, Montclair State University proudly bestows upon you, Frankie R. Faison, the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts honoris causa.
There it is. Thank you, President Cole. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the state of New Jersey and the Board of Trustees of Montclair State University, and upon the recommendation of the President and faculty, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts, honoris causa, with all the rights, duties, privileges, and immunities thereunto appertaining, of which this diploma is the written witness. It will be the written witness.
Your turn.
Wow. Good evening, everyone. Let me catch my breath. I am honored to be here with the Montclair State University graduating class of 2016-17. How spectacular is that? And I would like to thank President Cole, the Montclair State University faculty, board of directors, teachers, associates, everyone involved, for honoring me with this honorary Doctor of Fine Arts degree. I'm happy and I'm proud to accept it. Thank you. Now, wow, look at this beautiful, talented, exceptional group of graduates. I know how excited and thrilled you all must feel. And as soon as I can finish speaking to you for a very few minutes, you'll be closer to going out, collecting your diplomas, and celebrating the way that I know you all know how to do. But first, I'd like to say a few words. And I'm speaking to the graduating class. I want you to look to your left. That's good. Look to your right. Turn around and look up to the back of you. And finally, look ahead. Look forward, because these are your family, your friends, faculty, administrators who have shown support to you on this journey. So I want you all to stand up and give them a standing ovation. Thank you. Excellent. Now, for the last couple of weeks, ever since I got the phone call that I was receiving this honor, thoughts have been going over in my mind as to what will I say to this amazing group of graduating students. And I tell you, it's been a challenge. My first thought was to do a speech about cliches and wise sayings, but I gave this to my partner to mull over, and she said, "No, Frankie, don't do that." So I'm not going to be doing that. Cliches and words of wisdom. But you've heard them over, and you've heard them over and over again. And like I say, I abandoned that idea. She said to me, "Frankie, do what you do best. Speak from your heart. Be yourself." And I'm like, wow. As you've witnessed from the little clip, I've been a whole lot of different people. So I said, who am I? Be myself? I don't know. But deep down inside, I do know who I am. And I'm going to ask you all to look deep down inside yourselves. Find out who you are and always be yourselves. That's very important. The brilliant poem Invictus by William Ernest Henley ends with, "It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. And I urge you all to be the masters of your fate, to be the captain of your soul." I could not advise you with better words than that. As you have all worked very hard to get to this point, I truly acknowledge and congratulate you. Now, take a deep breath. I mean that. Be not afraid. The question I want to ask is this: where do you go from here? You have to answer that question honestly and individually. I mean, who really knows what's waiting around the corner? You've reached this milestone, but right around the corner, what could be waiting for you? So, I urge you to keep an open heart, keep an open mind. The joy and excitement, yes, hard times will come. They come upon us all. But when you take a deep breath and you're not afraid, then you can realize your dream. I want you to look deep inside yourselves and realize the special gift and talent that is yours and yours alone. Because each one of you sitting out there have something that you can do as well or better than most. And if you realize that, that could be the key in propelling you to a long and prosperous career and life. You're looking here at class clown and most boisterous, high school, 5th grade, that's me. I took those things and turned them into a career. And so look inside yourselves and find out what that special thing is that you do. Now, all the good phrases and all the good stories have been told and they have been used. But to you, this new generation of graduates, I feel responsible to let you hear something, some of these things. And, you know, there is nothing new under the sun. And in spite of my partner's urging not to quote, I got to give you this one because I love this one. Listen closely. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. My partner's going to kill me for doing that, but Sam, I'm sorry. I said that. I can't believe it. I couldn't stop myself. I have to ask this class, I have to urge you to be patient, to be loving, to be caring, and to be sharing. Be thankful for the small things in life, because those little small things, they add up to big things. And you got to take the time to smell the roses. And if you got something to say, most importantly of all, if you have something to say, say it, because you may not get another opportunity to speak. I look forward with excitement at the opportunities and life experiences that lie ahead for all of you. And we all can't be the brightest, we all can't be the wealthiest, we all can't be the most successful, but each of you can be decent, honest, hardworking men and women who contribute to this society. And each of you can make a difference in this world. So I say to you, graduating class of 2016 and 17, Montclair State University, choose well, choose wise, be fair, be fair. Thank you for allowing me to share this moment with you. Thank you so very much. I am so moved and honored and thrilled, and I look forward to seeing you out there, working with some of you and just meeting you on the street to say hello, and you remind me that we shared this evening together. And now, last but not least, I want to ask everyone in attendance, not the graduates, the family, the friends, the audience, everyone to stand up and give this class a standing round of ovation for their achievement in 2017. Congratulations to you all.
Okay, that's our new friend, Frankie. Our new BFF. I now call upon Professor Domenica Desiderio Scioli, our Grand Marshal, who has taught in the Department of Exercise Science and Physical Education and has served the university for a mere 51 years.
Thank you, President Cole. It is an honor to be chosen as Grand Marshal for this auspicious occasion. But it is an even more greater honor for me to present to our audience of parents, friends, and graduates the faculty of Montclair State University. Will the faculty please rise? Thank you.
And now we will have greetings from the graduate students, which will be presented by Stanley Fills, who nobody knows or likes, apparently. But he was nevertheless selected by a committee of graduate faculty and students. Stanley earned his Bachelor of Arts in Justice Studies from Montclair State, and tonight will receive his Master of Business Administration in Marketing, and he tells us he is going to pursue his passion in entrepreneurial ventures and investments.
I was really thinking there was going to be some confetti or intro music or something. I guess I have to get the PhD first for that, huh? Good evening, faculty, administration, staff, honored guests, parents, and of course, the reason why we're all here, the members of the Montclair State University class of 2016. Yeah. Graduates in the arena tonight, we all have a few things in common. The struggle to find great parking on a college campus, all right? Or those frosty winter nights thinking maybe, man, just maybe, today will be that magical day that classes are finally canceled due to inclement weather. I mean, you know we could all use the extra free time to make very difficult life decisions, like what filter to choose for your next Instagram post. It's a snow day, everyone's off. The world is watching and the pressure's on. Gotta finesse the gram, can't mess this up. But seriously, the one glaring fact that we all have in common is that we did it. Frankie, I don't think they heard me. Yeah. We did it. Whatever your story might be, whatever obstacles you had to overcome, be proud, because today is a culmination of the years of hard work we put in to accomplish our dreams. My parents made it a point to stress two things in life: family and education. Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. They believe that if these two pillars are in order, everything else in life will fall nicely into place. Now, I still have many, many things to learn, but I think they got it right. They're good kids. And that became evident to me throughout the course of my grad school experience at Montclair, when I was surrounded by some of the most amazing people I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. MBA students, HMG, how you guys doing? Now, I will admit, it took me a while to get there. After college undergrad, I pushed off graduate school for 4 years. I certainly tried to convince myself that I had good excuses for holding off. I mustered up crazy ideas like, maybe I should learn a new language first. That'll make me feel accomplished. Or global warming. Who can focus on studying when climate change is such a threat to our future? Think about the polar bears, bro. But the truth is, procrastination got the best of me, but I eventually got my priorities in order, and in 2014, I made the jump. And because of that decision, we got to see South Africa and watch the clouds roll over Table Mountain. Remember that? Or when we danced with the beautiful people of the Zulu tribe. Amazing times. The Zulu people, I mean, say what you will, aggressive, but they know how to party. I even took a selfie with a lion. I was pretty good. I started a business with fellow MBA classmates, won a $5,000 scholarship because of it. I'm fortunate to say that I accomplished a thing or two at Montclair. And we all are fortunate to be here today in our decked out fly regalia, celebrating in front of the people who support us and helped us get here today, our friends, family. Thank you. Yes, it's a scary time for a lot of us. Those student loans are real, and so the job search is in full effect. I didn't get to learn a new language, and the fight to save the polar bears still rages on, but I did have the privilege of meeting and learning so much from some extraordinary people. We laughed, we helped each other, we built bridges of understanding, we complained a whole lot more than our professors might have liked, but we created and shared some incredible memories together. Sure, our degrees mean the world to us, but for me, it's the relationships and the connections that we made along this journey that I will never forget. Because that can't be manufactured. That can't be orchestrated. This grad school experience has changed my life in so many ways, both professionally and personally, that I probably will not be able to fully grasp the impact it's had on me for quite some time. And for that, I encourage all you undergrads, make the jump, really. you might be surprised to see how strong you are and the things you can accomplish when you take action. And to Montclair State University and the Feliciano School of Business for all the wonderful experiences, I thank you sincerely. And with that said, I leave you with these words from accomplished film director, producer, and screenwriter, Jerry Zucker. Get out there and go for it, but don't be caught waiting. It's great to plan for the future, just don't live there. Because really nothing ever happens in the future. Whatever happens, happens now. So live your life where the action is, right here, right now. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And now, greetings from the senior class. Maria Del Mar Miranda was selected to bring us greetings from the senior class. Maria will receive her Bachelor of Science degree in Public Health. She has a cumulative GPA of 3.973 and is part of the Golden Key International Honor Society. After graduation, she plans to pursue a career in community health education, obtain a certification as a health education specialist, and eventually return to school to get a degree in nursing. Miranda.
Thank you. Good evening, President Cole, administration, faculty, staff, honored guests, parents, friends, and the members of the Montclair State University class of 2017. Woo! Graduates, I want you to think back to your happiest moment on your journey at Montclair State University. Really think about it. For many of us, it was successfully completing our first semester or securing that internship that you really wanted. For others, like myself, my happiest moment happened even before I drove a valley road towards MSU. I had dreamed of that moment for 2 years, the moment where I would hold the acceptance letter in my hand. As a transfer student, I wonder if I could survive the hour commute, if switching majors was the right choice. How was I going to afford my education? And finally, if all of this would enable me to get a job. I have realized that my struggles gave me the opportunity to complete my degree and the honor to stand before you today. MSU has given me the chance to learn from exceptional professors whose experience has allowed me to excel, not only in my academic studies, but in the field. The captivating theories explored in my classes piqued my interest in health education and resulted in the perfect mix of practical and real-world application. I quickly discovered that I had a need to give back to my community. I took on 2 internships. Working as a substance abuse and HIV educator for youth in Patterson, I began to understand the impact that I can make. Our professional and personal growth at Montclair State University within our individual fields of study and with those around us confirms that our happiness can be found in the deep sense of fulfillment that accompanies personal success. The experience from my internships gave me the qualifications for the job I have today, coordinating a breast cancer education program for Hispanic women and Latinas. I am humbled by their generosity, their fervent need for health education, and access to healthcare. I feel the gratitude in their hugs and in their simple but powerful thank yous. If there's any purpose in the madness that is taking 5 classes, working multiple jobs and internships, it is that we're all here to make a positive difference by helping others make better choices. Our degrees are a culmination of the time and effort we all took to learn new skills and concepts. We are more than ready. We as graduates are poised, eager to continue learning and serving on our road to success. I would like to end with a quote from Chris Gardner, author of The Pursuit of Happiness. Baby steps count as long as you're going forward. You add them all up, and one day you look back and you will be surprised at where it might get you. So class of 2017, embrace the moment. Choose to create happiness. I hope today is the beginning of a wonderful journey for you. Congratulations.
Very well done. Thank you, Maria. Chris Fitzpatrick is a graduate of the class of 2004 and member of the recent Alumni Network Committee. Chris will bring greetings from the alumni.
Well, congratulations and welcome. Today, as you make the transition from students to alumni, we hope you will remember that your Montclair State experience with thanks, satisfaction, and fondness. As graduates of the class of 2017, you join a vital network of more than 110,000 Redhawks with whom you share a common bond. I am proud to bring you greetings on their behalf. As you stand on the threshold of the next phase of your life, I ask you to remember one thing. Your connection to this great university does not end today, it lasts a lifetime. The people you have met at Montclair State and the alumni you will meet going forward can serve as friends, mentors, and professional contacts for many years to come. To this end, I hope you will stay connected by joining our recent alumni network. We are constantly coming up with exciting programs, from networking and social events to reunions and special homecoming activities for alumni like you. I also urge you to join our online community, Montclair Connect, for many ways to stay connected to your alma mater. The class of 2017 is already breaking new ground. Thank you to those of you who have contributed to the 2017 senior class gift and made a donation to have your messages displayed on the screen today. Your gift supports the Emergency Scholarship Fund and the Red Hawk Pantry, two vital campus resources. Thank you to the class of 2017. You are Montclair State. Your fellow alumni join me in wishing you all the very best and enjoy your day.
I call upon Provost Willard Gingrich as we begin, what? The conferment of degrees.
President Cole, it is my privilege to report to you that the candidates here assembled, who have successfully completed the curricula offered by the several colleges and schools of Montclair State University, have been so certified by the university registrar, and they are recommended by the faculty to be awarded degrees in recognition of their academic accomplishments. You will notice that a number of our undergraduate students are wearing gold tassels on their mortarboards. These gold tassels signify that these students are graduating cum laude with honors, magna cum laude with high honors, and summa cum laude with the highest honors. Will those undergraduates who are graduating with honors please rise? Your family, friends, and fellow students join me in applauding your success. Thank you. You may be seated. I'm pleased now to introduce Dr. Brian Carolyn, Associate Dean of the Graduate School, to present the university's doctoral candidates.
Thank you, Provost Gingrich. It gives me great pleasure to present the university's doctoral candidates. Will the deans and faculty mentors please take their places, and will the doctoral candidates move to the front of the stage? The candidate for the Doctor of Philosophy in Counselor Education, Kim M. Tassinari, hooded by Professor Harriet L. Glossoff. The candidate for the Doctor of Education in Mathematics Education, Marguerite Sheehan Flood, hooded by Professor Mika Munakata. The candidate for the Doctor of Philosophy in Environmental Management, Melissa Ann Hansen, hooded by Professor Sandra Pashier. President Cole, upon the recommendation of the faculty, I have the honor to present these candidates for the degrees of Doctor of Philosophy and Doctor of Education.
Thank you, Associate Dean Carolyn. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the State of New Jersey and the Board of Trustees of Montclair State University, and in recognition of your achievement in fulfilling the curricula prescribed, I confer upon you as earned the designated doctoral degree with all the rights, duties, privileges, and immunities thereunto appertaining, of which the diploma is the written witness. Congratulations, doctors.
President Cole, it gives me great pleasure to state that the 2,277 members of the August 2016 and January 2017 graduating class of 2017 who have successfully completed the university's requirements for the master's and bachelor's degrees stand ready now to be presented to you by their deans. I am pleased to introduce Dean Greg Kant, who will present the 347 graduates from the Feliciano School of Business.
Will the candidates for the master's and bachelor's degrees from Feliciano School of Business stand ready to receive their individual acknowledgement?
Feliciano School of Business. Masters of Business Administration.
Daryl Abrahams. Justina Kotowska. Stephen T. Smith. Lois Thompson. Jeremy Giovanni Jordan. Dino Nerrill. Caitlin Marie Bolduc. Joelle Bassino. Louis G. Intore. Monica Stekrova. Catherine Elizabeth Caceres. Susan Beatriz Carcamo. Edward Thomas Rolfe. Stanley Fills, Anthony Vincent Hart,
Pamela Ahmed,
Mustafa Gabal, Maria Fernanda Castaneda Zavala, Adriana Betancourt, Alina Dean, Philip Olusegun Othorunti, Michael Stephen Gillespie, Brian Del Cid, Tiffany Zoronsky, Taylor Corvino, Monica Colano, Christine Sedrak, Kaluba Chipepo, Connor Davis, Omer Farouk Demiraj, Ibrahim Abu Said, Juliana Rodriguez Ferreira, Melissa Catherine Matushevitz, Erica Maria Figueroa, Lisa Ande Tarleton, Jessica Orajo, Samantha Winifred Ulysses, Jennifer Bielak, Gabrielle Texera, Nicola Maganuco,
Department of Accounting, Law, and Taxation.
Dana Rochelle Lacondre Nugent, Zavil Bukoskaita, Oloremi Margaret Fatarotti, Cynthia Zhu Koom,
Department of Economics, Finance, and Real Estate.
Pat Kul Shah, Yu Ying Lee, Rahul Nakrani, Michael Brodacki, Orville Antonio Fiani, Ian Saporita, Catherine Marie Margarita, Amanda Parabu, Ali Timori,
Department of Information Management and Business Analytics.
Jacqueline Wagi Galal, Nibedita Mohanty,
Department of Management.
Tamer Isa Abdallah, Nenka Chiamaka Amora,
Department of Marketing.
Douglas R. Doremus, Sarah Elizabeth Marianacci, Venkata Nagasuresh Admakuru, Steve Muafuga,
Department of Accounting, Law, and Taxation.
Naja Akil, Amira F. Al-Jamal, Amy Joy Austin Smith, Perry Jesse Lau, Kashif Jamar Wilson, Melanie Martins, Edley Yamil Santana, Natasha Apia, Christos Andrikopoulos, Michael Biziak, Malgorzata Lupa, Carolina J. Sterin, magna cum laude, Magdalena Bielin, cum laude, Brian Thomas Bednars, magna cum laude, Kendi Wynn, Jamie Margaret Tyrone, Alyssa Sarah Cohen, Avani Patel, Sanjita Begum, Namisha P. Shah, Ankitha Chandrakant Rana, Safa Anjum,
Department of Economics, Finance, and Real Estate.
Samantha Basile, Raquel Ohms, Christina Ingui, Denise Yvette Hires, Lauren Fabiano, cum laude, Trevor J. Tironi, Kenya Newton, Jessica Deanna Remo, Monica Elizabeth Gliwa, Ana Maria Catalina Delgado, magna cum laude, Patricia Rodriguez, Anderson A. Bonilla, Stephen Nunes, Savino Giovanni Pascucci,
Go, go, go.
Rami Alkawam, Andrew T. Pelham, Brendan Thomas O'Day, Aaron Goodwin, Robert O. Tiburcio, Dominic Andrew Chalua, Mark A. Rezabala, Samuel James Batista II, Matthew Joseph Puglisi, Bernard Kwabena Trenu, Aaron Teki, Patrick Osadebi, Asa Carl Buchanan, Melinda Cody Tuwaku, Joseph J. Moore, Alexander Robert Pruitt, Connor Cecil Kasabian, Christopher Daniel Fallon, Christopher John Eunice,
Alexandra Elizabeth Hoffman, Rachel Lee Lubansky,
Brian P. McCormick, Christian Camilo Flores, Jose Barrios, Jevson Espiritu,
Department of Information Management and Business Analytics.
Emmanuel Palumi Kolawole, Richard Brownlee, Tomasz Zaget, Carlos Villalobos, Brandon Shear, cum laude, Christopher Widota, Bazid Imran, A. Marie Chang, summa cum laude, Podrick Michael Gonzalez, Ryan Ailman, Anita Lopez,
Department of Management.
Robert Wayne Lindsay Jr., Peter Daniel Montaigne, Nisa Arias, Kevin Luis de Silva, Jefferson Ventura, Aaliyah Simone Walker, Allison Dennis, summa cum laude, Myrna Hanna, Jenna Michelle Suarez, Francesca Marie Neese, Caitlin Nicole Lubertowitz, Nathan Chatterton, Catherine Velez Leon, Anthony Gonzalez, Giovanni Santos. Kevin Bisalu Ademu John. Michael Dragowski. Jonathan Kelly. Michael J. Kushner. Adekunle T. Adebayo. Novell Mangaroo. Scott Andrew Wallace. Gabriel Jose Meco Alves. Natalie Maria Mateus. Eolani Naomi Sotomayor Agostino. Sagrario Mateo. Andrew M. Riggio. Corinne Marie Luongo. Jocelyn Veronica Derry. Alicia Kim Katzen. Intagab Chowdhury. Keith D. Cleary. Kyra Pujols. Salvatore Volo. Nicole Jackson. Andre Camar Tavares. Jordan Michelle Hulk. Kimberly Elizabeth DeBella. Vincent James Bain. Maricela Guerrera Madera.
Department of Marketing.
Jahan Best. Jake Ruggiero. Walia Worrell. Andrew Justin Vargas. Kimberly Cardona. Timothy J. Boonstra. John Glass. Christine Paez. Solange M. Green. Christina Marie Albrecht. Catherine Robinson. Brooke Nicole Powers. Taylor Bettina Clark. Tiffany Morales. Joshua Crespo. Ashna K. Jurawala. Amory Kwesi Thompson. Nadia Haddad. Tiffany Zapata. Mary Colleen Francavilla. Ricardo De Jesus. Gabriele D. Almeida. Pamela Prado Holland. Stephanie Ann Guerrero. Cynthia Pacheco.
Jennifer Puerta La Rosa.
Michelle Ashley DePippa, summa cum laude. Jane Elizabeth Colombo, summa cum laude. Elena C. Della Fave. Niran Nalchayan. Joseph F. Pacuro. Valerie Pugh. Germany V. Caputo. Eric Gargiulo. Peter Anthony Bunicor. Hui An Fan, cum laude. Jenna Marie Salvatoriello. Daniela C. Corbacero.
Michael Pompanio,
Claudia Lopez, Miranda Lee Welter, Abigail Elizabeth Stecker, Cassandra Hill, Naya Imani Dark, Sydney Martinez, Corey Petway, Matthew Harrison Mitchell, Pedro Barales, Deborah Ann Carroll, Haley Bloom, Eloy Francisco Orocho Jr., Tyler Matthew Majewski, Dean Roger Molzak Jr., Ryan Stephen Trabalka, Jomali Martinez, Rose M. Rodriguez, Sebastian Hernandez, Natalie Christine Duffy, Taylor Lee Tubman, Eyal Ari Vidal, Diana F. Jaramillo, Natavia Hayes, Eric Villanueva, Leslie Chewy Urtarte, Michelle Marie Basto Primamore,
I am now pleased to introduce Dean Robert Prezant, who will present the 272 candidates from the College of Science and Mathematics.
Will the candidates for the master's and bachelor's degree in the College of Science and Mathematics stand ready to receive your individual acknowledgments?
College of Science and Mathematics, Department of Biology.
Angela Victoria Salazar Leon, Dina Idani, Alyssa Marie Waldron,
Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry.
Yakoba Varum Teshmak Minot,
Department of Computer Science.
Frank Joseph Palladino, Sameep Jignesh Shah, Rutu Priyank Patel,
Riyad Jaraday,
Najim Safarjalani, Kevin Scott Miller, Gabriel Rodriguez, Nishok Narasimha Mohanaswamy, Manjusha Sagi,
Himanth Reddy Jalamuri,
Krishna Murthy Gurum,
Department of Earth and Environmental Studies.
Teresa P. Leon, Heidi Sandra O'Neill, Alex Cayley, Sam O. Spangler,
Department of Mathematical Sciences.
Dainine Foti, Jonathan Butler, Brittany Marie Marion, Mary Grace Kaptira, Crystal Matuseski, Carrie Crow Jackson, Fallon F. Coliani, Christine A. Cole,
Department of Biology.
Angela Jalalar, Haiti Salazar, Amber Pena, Jennifer Diana Parada, Paola Reyes, Kimberly Marianne Parada, Fatima Rushda Idris, Mamna Hassan, Usman Mahmoud Yaqub,
Kaede Tafili,
Andleeb Imran, Shamiza Katadine, Dion Joy Arellano Ubungan, Alyssa Kelsey Prush, cum laude, Bianna Ray O'Loughlin, Nicolette Albanese, Catherine M. Vallejo, Caitlin Marie McManus, Shreya V. Jatani, Frug Aziz, Adriana Fiammetta Lentini, magna cum laude, Zachary Adam Tully, Masaki Nicholas McClellan, Onud Mansour, Daniel Negroni,
Anna Maria McKenna,
Maria Carpi, Sandy Mejia, Ann Faragala, Mena Labib El Sayed, Lubna Jouejati, J. Solis Francisco, Deborah Maribel Lopez, Mark J. Joseph, Edlin Marlins Darius, Danica Judy Moyce,
Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry.
Jung-un Jasmine Lee, summa cum laude, Alma Valdez, Michael Joseph Calley,
Department of Computer Science.
Farid Hassani, Charles Christopher Encalada, Monte Carlo Mendoza Lameg, Phil John Torre Tuanco, Joshua Dumitrescu, Jeffrey J. Adamski, Shahiq Ahmed, Min Jae Lee, Manuel Cano, John Carlo Marin,
David Rozek,
Zafer Nurales, Pasquale Gencarelli, Daniel Newman, Manuel A. Colon,
Department of Earth and Environmental Studies.
Christina Marie Verhagen, summa cum laude.
Ralph Olseo.
Ariana Kira. Matthew McNicholas.
Carlos Paneagu.
David Cesar Aguiar.
Department of Mathematical Studies.
Rebecca Belaskevitz. Danielle Marissa Caggiano. Michael Ray French. Pooja Deluctor. Terry Roseanne Bennett. Tiffany Montosa. Jessica Hinchley. Matthew Carlson, cum laude. Chloe Kyungmin Kim. Ray Park. Kevin Johansmeyer, cum laude. Brian Giraldo, cum laude. Amanda Ainsley Provost, summa cum laude. Hector Ivan Reyes Jr. Mark Riemann. Seth Gary Statlander, summa cum laude. John Stahl IV. Jean Carlos Vargas. Jesus Eguino. Hewan Christine Na. Kelsey Lynn Bridget Brennan. Kiara Johnson. Kelvin J. Nunez.
Marine Biology and Coastal Sciences Program.
Olivia Paradis.
I am now pleased to introduce Dean Daniel Gurskus, who will present the 173 candidates from the College of the Arts.
Will the candidates for the master's and bachelor's degrees in the College of the Arts stand ready to receive your individual acknowledgement?
College of the Arts, School of Communication and Media.
Diana Russa.
John J. Calley School of Music.
Crystal Ashley Antoine. Hyun Kyung Kim.
Department of Theater and Dance.
Anthony J. Cayola. Rebecca Campbell. Ignacio Dominis. Danielle Van Kampen.
Department of Art and Design.
Ace Jocelyn Simbilia Lipuma. Eric Christian Stark. Alexander Chauvette. Karen Kozine. Elisha Lopez. Dalal Al-Bassam. Nicole Hudelis. Tyler Matthew Jeanette, cum laude. Samuel George Alexander, summa cum laude. Sarah Rosato. Brianna Rose Carnaval. Stephanie Claire Biazzo. Alyssa Pangione. Lauren Nicole Meary. Gabriella Pasillo. Amanda Teresa McCarthy. Jessica Lynn Jenkins, cum laude. Edward Macias. Christopher Shante James Jones. Morgan Elizabeth Barbero. Nicole Kirsten Killeen. Allison Erica Schwartz. Kimberly Elizabeth Cawthorn. Catherine Figueredo. Caitlin Marie Janis. Stephen Anthony Saliba. Brianna Lee Phillips. Maria Baez. Catherine Montoya. Han Lim. Victoria Chung. Sarah McCormick. Megan Diane Leader. Evan Mackenzie Cumming. Amanda Maria DiGiorgio. Diana Gorka Marolu. Sarah Megan Tam. Gina Yoon, magna cum laude. Rishana Deanna Simmons. Nardina De Leon Howerton. Brittany Zella Fuller. Jessica Munoz. Jennifer Sanchez. Shayna Rose Aria. Emily Amanda Brewer. Amanda Batkin. Maria Afonso. Mackenzie Kennedy. Amanda Salome, cum laude. Kristen Lillian Johnson.
School of Communication and Media.
Elisa Amali Hunter, cum laude. Brianna Michelle Kapik. Theodora Marie Lacour. Tumiche Odufie, cum laude. James J. Jeffers, Jr. Kirsten Antoinette Kobats. Alyssa Marie Zito. Omar Ledesma. Callie Shanahan. Kevin Michael Richardson.
Zena Gonzalez.
Delilah Carolina Mariscal. Ryan Thomas Kale. Isabel Bobadilla. Brandon James Szymanski. Melissa Ann Negron. Philip Zalewski. Alexandra Quintana. Erica Ninoska Hernandez Cerda. Nicole Espinal. Theodore Milton Berry. Salma Shakir Gabber. Dante Janetta.
John J. Calley School of Music.
Richard McCarthy, magna cum laude. Nicole Christine Demarest. Nicholas John Massa, summa cum laude. Mark Perdone. Lara Annette Grabois, cum laude. Victoria Lynn Joel. Tamaru Ijang Geller. Stephen Joseph Nieves. Elizabeth R. Wooten. Emily Margaret Dieter. Colby Jade Foreman. Alexander Sean White. Robert T. Zhang.
Department of Theater and Dance.
Chelsea Marie McCloskey, cum laude. Alexa Marie Lucchese. Vanessa Cardenas, cum laude. Chelsea Elise Caulfield. Derek Alexander Cologne. Anne Claire Bobbis. Teresa Belen Bouquet. Vincent Frida. Shandel Leah Jacobs. Jesse Amici.
I am pleased now to introduce Dean Tamara Lucas, who will present the 943 candidates from the College of Education and Human Services.
Will the candidates for the master's and bachelor's degree in the College of Education and Human Services stand ready to receive your individual acknowledgments?
College of Education and Human Services, Department of Counseling and Educational Leadership.
Lisa Marie Sibilia. Matthew Scott Barone. Sylvia Rego. Jennifer Fernandez. Catherine Ann Ellman. Byron Neal Hamby Jr. Scott Passner. Claire Varadi. Kimberly Ann Haralambopoulos. Elizabeth O'Loughlin. Celeste Cartagena. Carol Mulder Haight. Samuel Chang. Luke William Weisenbach. Manuela A. Jimenez. Iris B. Rivera. Charles J. Raphael. Patricia Elizabeth Filchuk. Kinga Lewinsky. Erica Dici. Lorena Vasquez. Carolina Bermeo. Teresa Victoria Fallon. Francesca Jaffe. Larissa Zulich. Cynthia Dominique Bolson. Melissa Ganade Riley. Tiffany Wilson. Brooke Rochelle Jameson. Christina Joanne Scambalone. Mary Carmel Tremolo. Kate Mesa Fernandez. Ashley Marie Babylonia. Jessica Vega. Nicole Ray Aboyan. Jana Nicole Gelatro. Lindsay Leduc. Caitlin Jane McGee. Jennifer Kathleen Marshall. Alverna Margaret Anique Shadwick. Kimberly Ray Vinay. Frank Fred Loffelman IV. Samantha Nicole Landwehr. Corey Donitz. Delaney Polino. Richard James Abato. Jane Allison Panola. Amy Catherine McNanny. Ramona Marla Ramasar. Jessica Erin Friedel. Megan Elizabeth Ingman. Gianna Marie Seidler. Tina Locasto. Tracy Michelle H. Monica Danielle Matlock. Maria de Los Angeles Espinosa. Crystal Red. Sandra Carolina Dubon. Sakina Wallace. Nicole Bennett. Christina Campione Cipollino. Melissa Catherine Smith.
Department of Early Childhood, Elementary, and Literacy Education.
Michelle Amanda Girardi. Courtney Mataris. Rebecca R. Spano. Maria Gabriela Guevara. Alexandria Michelle Cantone. Andrea Monique Milliken. Lindsay Marie Spinner. Althea Shireen Peart Green.
Mosiah Sajida.
Allison Will. Margot Louise Henry. Amaryllis Valdivieso. Gianna R. Kozlowitz. Clark Michael Murphy. Brenda Lucia Andres. Sabrina Ann Salvatoriello. Tori Nicole Joseph. Catherine Louise Villegas. Shruti Kulkarni. Alyssa Nidik Cohn. Vera Chismadia. Caitlin Rose Fell. Jessica Benke. Deanna Larissa McPherson. Stephanie Lauren Weiss. Simone Goldenstein. Amalia Lopez. Gina Nicole Ortiz.
Department of Exercise Science and Physical Education.
Erin Elizabeth Keenan. Maria Jennifer Macedo. Logan Blair DeSico. Connor Patrick Abreu. Mark Anthony Marcellinus Johnson.
Department of Nutrition and Food Studies.
Jeremy Carlson. Jamie Ann Miller. Sharif Shakir. Robin M. Kafiro.
Department of Public Health.
Maria Fernanda Santos.
Department of Secondary and Special Education.
Andrew DeBlock. Kyle F. Trama. Gregory Theodore Solomon Gallet. Ronnie Gabrielle Lubin. Brianna Marin, Anita N. Mathe, Lucas William Canarazi, Matthew Rago, Michael P. Deal, Catherine J. Udak, Lisa M. Picarillo, Ryan James, Ivan Garcia Luciano, Elaine Fernandez, Christopher J. Bile, Ngozi E. Oneyuke, Shirley Walker,
Laura Walters, Computer Morales, Laura Morales. Department of Exercise and Physical Education.
Anthony J. Larkin, Shamika Marie Tulloch, Joseph Anthony Subia, Rachel Ann King, Nicole Lynn Izzo, Tanasia Danielle Harris, Nicole Ashley Butel, Kayla Aston Anderson, Ashley Tate Macau, Terica Nicole Wharton, Mara Danielle Salurzo, Chelsea Flora Margiotta, Michael Salvatore Morale, William Michael Mertz Jr., Byron Windsor Blake, Megan Rose Weiss, Lindsay Sarah Klesmere, Kira Faith Dudek, Serena Thalia Hitchens, Nicole Senezen, Nicole Marie Valerani, magna cum laude, Dana Marie Spagnoli, magna cum laude, Katrina Ann Early, magna cum laude, Shayla Oprah Camilo, Nicholas Solano, Vincent N. DeCandia, Thomas John Baranek, Kayla Clara Migliori, Ryan Gabriel Casales, Brendan Michael Guzman, Edward R. Zip, Michael Chernick, Ariana Geiger, Brittany Marie Tierney, Charmaine Del Rosario, Jessica Ann House, Richard Anthony D'Angelo, Derek Joseph Shevchik, Haley Jean Myers, Louis Fidel Ojeda, Brian E. Abarca, Anthony Vincent Borino, Clifford Josh Matarang, Louis Becerra, Christian Salas, Samantha Lee Patterson, Danielle Taylor Perro. Alyssa Marie Mora. Alyssa Michelle McAuliffe. Jehan Sade Barmore, cum laude.
Department of Family and Child Studies.
Shiponya Nela. David Michael Parsons. Sabrina Marie Nunez. Lauren Karina Gruyan. Susan N. Alowi. Rose Marie Barbalacci. Rosalind Davis. Megan Bradley. Jesse Sencho. Liana Luna, cum laude. Talia del Carmen Nuesi. Maria Angelica Perez. Isis Rivers. Rebecca Lee Matman. Elda Onuzi. Joseph Edward Russell. Jennifer Ann Vaz. Caitlin Patricia McCone. Veronica Sher Pangilinan, magna cum laude. Melissa Elizabeth Macrillos. Samantha Ashley Girardi. Kelly Manning Kramer. Alexandra Gloria Hilgenberg. Annalise Wally Bess. Crystal Marie Brannon, magna cum laude. Angelica Mastropiero, cum laude. Kiana Davis. Kathleen M. Custer, summa cum laude. Brianna Morris, summa cum laude. Sarah Monsalve. Jenny Mildreth Ojeda, cum laude. Samantha Cavallaro. Mikako Nishimura. Daniela Castillo. Brielle Taylor Daly Strugala. Sarah Elizabeth Paul. Megan Elizabeth Volpe. Carly Marcinkowitz. Juliet M. Kelleher. Melissa Davila. Tatiana M. Matola, cum laude. Stephanie Katie Castaneda. Danielle Catherine Curry, magna cum laude. Deanna Margaret Lundy. Megan Barhorst. Jillian Lee McLaughlin, cum laude. Shannon Elizabeth Jordan. Brittany J. Meyer. Sierra Ruggiero, cum laude. Alessandra Minervino. Emily Ann Garcia. Ariana Faith Fazilat, cum laude. Brianna Nichelle White. Saul Maricato. Linda Ann Lema, cum laude. Joseph Pisano. Sue Ann Lim. Chantel A. Warren. Ashanae Porter. Natalie Labrada. George Mojovich. Song Lee, magna cum laude. Catherine Patricia Kuderka.
Department of Nutrition and Food Studies.
Jonathan K. Wong. Tara Lynn Natalia Martinez. Sarah C. Santoro. Natalie D. Lottie, summa cum laude. Hector Umberto Martinez. Sarah Fox Pearson. Adriana Julia Holok. Gabriella Panarisi. Fatma Abdel Salam. Audrey Anand. Jesselyn Bedoya. Mateusz Maciejewski. Olivia Sproul. Hejane Mendez Oliveira, summa cum laude. Marissa Alexandra Perkins. Michael Scott Wild Jr. Megan Christine Norton. Ellen Grace Nicolaitis. Rachel Rose Calabria. Anna Macias. Amanda Brown. Lindsay Nicole Schmatz, magna cum laude. Melanie Susan Daniel. Lauren Poro.
Zunilda Malena.
Dawn Melissa Vanessa Fraser. Angela Marie Moresi, cum laude. Cheryl Lynn Ilardo. Mariana Escate. Jessica Karen Norberg. Melissa McGill. Carolina Barr. Selena Cementi. Rachel F. Sharp.
Department of Public Health.
Craig Anthony Lane. Sammy Solomon. Precious Onyekachi Ibe. Kelsey Rodriguez. Maria Del Mar Miranda Hidalgo, summa cum laude. Lena Davila, cum laude. Michael Gregory Effner. Autumn Bracey. Lourdes Ramos. Jessica Lynn Marino. Elizabeth Jane Waite. Chelsea Chris Borgoños. Jarissa Maria Rickart. Giovanni Guerrier. Africa Bianca Bond. Richard McYang. Sarah Jacob, summa cum laude. Ayana Mumford Myers. Kimberly Pierre. Michelle Roman. Chai Chai Anya Egbu.
We have to do the certification. Dean Lucas will now testify concerning the certification of the members of the class to teach.
Will the members of the August 2016 and January 2017 class who participated in a teacher preparation program, undergraduate or graduate in any school or college, please rise? President Cole, It gives me pleasure to state that 405 members of this class have successfully completed their academic majors, a professional sequence, and the appropriate examination, and are certified and qualified to teach in the public schools of the state of New Jersey.
Thank you, Dean Lucas. Congratulations to the future teachers of New Jersey. You may be seated.
I'm pleased to introduce Dean Robert Friedman, who will present the 542 candidates from the College of Humanities and Social Sciences.
Will the candidates for the master's and bachelor's degree in the College of Humanities and Social Sciences stand ready to receive your individual acknowledgement?
College of Humanities and Social Sciences, Department of Communication Sciences and Disorders.
Vanessa C. Sanchez. Jennifer Alexandra Valarezo. Grace Elizabeth Wessel. Stephanie Marie Alessi. Catherine Rose Head. Faryal Rafiq. Amanda Rose Gagnon. Lauren Piccarelli. Melissa Dorothy Moser. Lauren Rhodes Zangara. Lisa Ann Doran. Betty Mohiban. Ellen Marie Anderson. Kimberly Manny. Courtney Aaron Smith. Tara Susan McLaughlin. Lynn Ann Buckenmeyer. Natalie Jean Janowick. Allison Swick. Sarah Lynn Nolette. Melissa Platt Goldman. Ashley Leashock. Brooke R. Lupo.
Department of Modern Languages and Literatures.
Isam Helwani. Julie Rimmerman.
Department of Political Science and Law.
Legacia Andrea Jones.
Department of Psychology.
Giovanni De Paula. Justin Anthony Farhat. Anna Kogut. Julia Tatiana Needhammer. Jessica Diabramo.
Department of Spanish and Italian. Joseph Anthony Diaz. Child Advocacy and Policy Program.
Erica Rose Petrovich. Karina Anel Carmona. Shante Denise Gregory. Justine Franchino. Ashley Sorrow. Catherine A. Pelk. Sherry Ann Daddis. Valerie Virouette Santiago. Laura Bulikowski. Sandra Michelle Lugameno. Angela R. Haynes. Candace Marie Bongiorno. Nicole Stepneski. Shanonika Wicks. Tiffany Shanice Thompson. Erica Danielle Stevenson. Shaniqua Quanice Gale. Brianna Nicole Mayers.
Child Advocacy and Policy Program.
Kevin William Cabrera. Gabriela Montoya. Tatiana Michelle Tabares, Alexa Chan, Kayana Alnisa Burns, Anita Sims Dowdy, Amanda Tolomeo,
Adasoyo Adabome,
Jasmine Rochelle Mulder,
Department of Spanish and Italian.
Gabriela Maria Carputo, Dariel Alexis Vasquez, Anna Maria Grammatica, Julia Bertoli, Anna Victoria Ventura, cum laude, Lilia Barroso, Lorena Andrea Wild Caneda, cum laude, Angeli Perez, Maria T. Vicente, Angelo Villarreal,
Department of Anthropology.
Eric M. Kenny, Jacqueline Joyce Lignac, Alicia Marie Prutica, Nicholas Joseph Remner, Jennifer Michelle Rogers, magna cum laude.
Department of Psychology.
John Alejandro Vallejo, Alicia Marie Lukey Daly, Crystal Blue Acevedo, Carolyn Ingrid Meyer, Jocelyn Mary Beth Rapallo, Brian E. Hanstein, Noah Addison Freeman, Veronica A. Schneider, Rainiel Angelo Simon, Charles Reagan, Victoria Marie Rasiopi, Melanie Perea, Jennifer Mejia, Brianna DeLeon, Rosalind Pierre Lewis, Stephanie Pucci, Rigo Thomas Gutierrez, Michael Fego, Cynthia Lynn Cefac, cum laude, Francesca Mastro Piero, Rebecca Greff, Laura Margaret Morrison, Nicole Marie Wise, Svetlana Ivkovich, Mujela Bursal, Cindy Gabriela Fernandez, cum laude, Emily Henning, Alicia Michelle Galloway, Brian George Zabo, Yukima Clement, Caitlin Brittany Jackson, Fabiola Isabel Vargas, Ambiori Jose Ramirez, Michael Joseph Sandor, Madeline K. Casano, summa cum laude, Melissa Christine Perez, Tiara Davis,
Stacy Pastor,
James Tyler Semino, Danielle Margaret Latrenta, Chantel Arthur, Alicia Lindaleski, Alexis Ariel Urena,
yes,
Alexis Janae Frederic, Jean Jabbar Washington, Sophia Marie Sorico Cordoso, magna cum laude. Amy Lynn Hibbler. Rachel M. Lynch. Allison Ann Elgayar. Kathleen Bruno. Emily Ayala. Adrian Elizabeth Manley. Denia Virginia Galvez Membreno. Sabrina Dumasic. Eduardo Luis de Oliveira. Marixie Penafiel. Romario J. Diaz. Phyllis Duffy. Josephine Patricia Guerra. Christina Marie Barone, cum laude. Alexis Joan Nanartovich, summa cum laude. Yunji Lee. Lucy Clavijo Jaruma. Dana Lynn Algin. Nicole Marie Piggott. Alexis P. Gentile. Zina Ali Brahimi. Joanna Vasquez. Catherine Jasmine Guaigua. Unbi Elise Kim. Cheyenne Paydar, magna cum laude. Allison Marie Sorbello. Aliyah Kiana Bennett. Kevin Nolasco. Ayasiris Enriquez. Marisol Lopez. Daniela Zareen Rodwell. Aisha Zavalos. Joseph Hatala. Cheyenne Robinson. Avery D'Alessandro. Heather Falk. Erica Nicole Blair. Jennifer Beatriz Gonzalez Flores. Angelica Sadiz Juarez. Robert Becker. Sosha Clarissa Vital.
Department of Justice Studies.
Julio Cabrera. Gianna Marie Salvatore. Taylor Lee George. Elisa Benson. Nicholas G. Malfado. Jorge Hoyos. Brian William Melly. Robert Paul Morehouse. Kevin Matthew Farber, cum laude. Raymond Norman Annette. Paris Gabrielle Glover. Trevor John Costabile.
John Casana.
Juliari Suarez. Karen Natalie Lopez. Matthew Ditzig. Ho Chan Choi. Valerie Echegaray. Anthony Sorrentino. Nicholas James Pizzuta. Michael Allen Eastman. Ryan John McSherry. Michael T. Klimek. Matthew Kemp. Valen Cortochi. Yancy Cazeda. Benito Hernandez. Scott David Griffin. Luis A. Gonzalez. Marisol Jennifer Morales. Jennifer L. Green. Stephanie Kristen Young, cum laude. Catherine Marie Collins. Jessie Faith McNamee. Lenice Rollins. Shantae Monique Ferguson. Ganesha Lene Weich. Ashley M. Perino, cum laude. Diego A. Melick Cabrera. Corey Nicole Smith. Deirdre Ann McDermott. Jessica Lauren Veltri. Jihan Jake O. Erin Marie Sidoric. Felicia Ray Divino. Perla Romano. Michael Antonio Ferrante Gomez. Edwin G. Hernandez. Diana Tenazaka. Sarah Marie Pellegrino. Allison Marie Mysick. Karimba Ashanti Allen.
Department of English.
Juliet Crespo. Michelle Garcia. Ruben Montalvo. Stephanie Nicole Petito, summa cum laude. Juan A. Ubina. Emily Rose Duke. Stephanie Elise. Shantice Conway. Sabrina Siddiqui. Shane Michael Turco. Gabriella Maria D'Angelo. Adam Richard Jadrin. Angelina Rocco. Sasha Vanessa Carty. Sharissa Hernandez. Crystal Hopkins. Aubrey McGee. Destiny Rodriguez. Gianna Capuccio. Leonard Ackwill Hughes. Aaliyah E. Duvernu.
Ria Juhe Bali.
Kelly Lynn Blabalil. Devin Elijah Bird. Taina Calderon. Annika Aisha Deming. Anthony DeSordi.
Department of History.
Christopher B. Hastings. Jennifer Teresa Mealy. Matthew Alec Rosine. Pavel Kaminsky, summa cum laude. Shakira Chantel Lavelle. Rosalind Catherine Everson. Hope Elizabeth Graycar. Chantal B. Hernandez. Audrey Mustafai. Samantha Page Anastasio. Pierce John Bixis.
Matthew J. Maroon. Department of Political Science and Law.
Rowan Nicole Lambie, magna cum laude. Allison Danielle Gowen. Richard Douglas Doyen. Dario Javier Castillo Pardo. Troy L. Dortch Jr. Brandon Jimenez. Maurice Lee Chin. Caitlin Ann Kobianki. Esther Seraphine.
Department of Sociology.
Katie R. Sandler. Kaylee Hilling. Caitlin Marie Sweeney. Maricruz Morales. Debbie Almanzar. Lizette Bergonzi. Stephanie Perez. Kenna Capalbo. Michelle S. Struthers. Scarlett Cruz. Jasmine Reyes. Razak Ologunebi.
Department of Classics and General Humanities.
Hisham K. Jaouni. Caitlin Ann Rios. Marissa Ann Casal. Manushi Abe Desai. Tia Gallego. Jared Joseph Bonanno. Michael Joseph Hickey. John William Brooks. Brandon Rosado. Evans St. Combe. Lily Beth Grouillon. Michelle Dominguez. Robert M. Trotta Jr. Karen Rachel Maharaj. Rachel Alexa Mazzara. Liliana Teixeira, magna cum laude. Dare Kim. Rochelle Erica Alcocer. Erica Ayezi. Adriana Ashley Reyes. Suad Al-Nababte, cum laude. Jaime Ayala. Manika Miazga. Nikita Martins.
Department of Religion.
Sebastian Mejia. Indica Dixon. Ian Taylor Levinson.
Will the candidates for all master's degrees please rise? President Cole, I am pleased to present the candidates who have qualified for the degrees of Master of Arts, Master of Fine Arts, Master of Arts in Teaching, Master of Business Administration, Master of Public Health, and Master of Science.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the State of New Jersey and the Board of Trustees of Montclair State University, and in recognition of your achievement in fulfilling the curricula prescribed, I confer upon you as earned the designated master's degree with all the rights, duties, privileges, and immunities thereunto appertaining, of which the diploma is the written witness. Congratulations, masters.
Will the candidates for all bachelor's degrees please rise? President Cole, I am pleased to present the candidates who have qualified for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of Music, and Bachelor of Science.
By the authority vested in me by the State of New Jersey and the Board of Trustees of Montclair State University, and in recognition of your achievement in fulfilling the curricula prescribed, I confer upon you as earned the designated bachelor's degree with all the rights, duties, and privileges and immunities thereunto appertaining, of which the diploma is the written witness. Congratulations, graduates. Would the Grand Marshal please join me and the Provost to direct the undergraduate tassel ceremony?
When the Grand Marshal signals with the mace, undergraduate students will move your tassel from the right side to the left side of your mortarboard. Ready? President Cole, I am pleased to present to you your guests, the graduates of the class of 2017.
Congratulations, graduates. Victoria Joel has received, please be seated. Victoria Joel received her Bachelor of Music tonight, and she is graduating today with a concentration in voice. She hopes one day to inspire others through performing as she was inspired. She will lead us in the singing of the alma mater, which is printed on the back of your program. Yeah. Please rise.
Jersey sky so blue in Montclair's mountain town, there stands our college tried and true and growing in renown. We love thy campus, love thy halls, and oft to thee we raise with loyal lips and loyal hearts united songs of praise. All hail, Montclair, to thee our voices raise. Alma mater, dear Montclair, our undying hymn of praise.
Thank you, Victoria. And congratulations, graduates. Please be seated. This concludes the Montclair State University winter commencement exercises. I would ask everyone to remain seated until the recessional is complete.